At this G7, the spotlight is on the new American president, and Joe Biden filled the stage with a big vaccine commitment, 500 million doses for lower-income countries.
America will be the arsenal of vaccines in our fight against COVID-19, just as America was the arsenal of democracy during World War II.
G7 leaders are expected to commit 1 billion doses to vaccinate the world. And while our leader may be less in the limelight, Canada will put up to 100 million into the pot. Broken down per capita, that's more than the U.S., but specifics are scant.
We'll be there doing Canada's full fair share. More details will be available over the weekend.
Canada was once criticized for being the only G7 nation to take doses from the COVAX facility instead of donate them. One G7 watcher says now that our vaccine rollout has picked up speed, pressure's on around the G7 table.
I think they'll look Justin Trudeau right in the eyes, face to face, and say, come on, isn't it about time?
Experts hope the 1 billion dose commitment goes beyond a flashy headline to include a delivery roadmap. There are huge challenges in vaccinating poorer and more remote parts of the world.
A vaccine is only as effective if it is in somebody's arm. So many of these countries lack the infrastructure to actually deliver them.
Vaccines have been thrown away, and we don't want to waste any more.
There are also geopolitical implications, with 2 rising global powers already filling the void.
It's not a bad thing in itself that China and Russia are providing vaccines. That is helping to save lives. But it's a role that the West has not been playing to the degree it should be, and we're potentially losing ground in terms of influence.
Some of the unanswered questions on the Canadian side include how much of this is a re-announcement. We know part of the 100 million doses comes from a previous COVAX commitment. We also don't know whether these surplus donations will be made before everyone in Canada who wants 2 doses has a chance to get them. Abigail Bimman, Global News, Falmouth, England.
Canada's commitment to share doses internationally comes as this country surpasses all larger nations administering shots domestically. It is extraordinary. Given the slow start to our vaccine rollout, Canada also reached another milestone today. 10% of people are now fully vaccinated, and about 63% have received at least 1 dose. There is strong demand for the vaccine and strong supply, too. The federal government has ordered more doses per capita than any country in the world. As Eric Sorensen reports, Canada says it's willing to share, but the priority is still here.
From day one, Canadians have lined up for their COVID shots, and they've just kept coming.
I just really want to get my vaccine.
Canadian eagerness has vaulted this country to global leadership in vaccinations.
It's really ramped up to be one of the, if not the top vaccination campaign for first doses, at least, in the world. I think this is a great accomplishment.
Global vaccine distribution began slowly, unevenly. By mid-February, Canada had fallen behind many countries in initial doses. In April, was in the middle of the pack of leading vaccine nations. And now, in mid-June, Canada has surged to the top among larger countries, not only administering first doses to 63% of Canadians, but showing no signs of slowing down. Unlike some countries where vaccine hesitancy is high or the pandemic was played down, in Canada,
get vaccinated with whatever vaccine is offered to us.
Making sure that we get needles into people's arms.
Across the political spectrum, there has been a consistent message.
We need Manitobans to get vaccinated.
And the uptake has been a pleasant surprise.
There was always a concern about, are we going to see more hesitancy sooner on? And in fact, so far we haven't seen that.
Health officials are aware the last 30% may be more vaccine hesitant.
Hopefully, like I say, what we're seeing is a snowball effect. And I think as more and more Canadians get vaccinated, even with the 2 doses, I think it just increases the confidence overall.
Vaccination numbers also climbed because Canada struck contracts for tens of millions of doses from multiple companies, including 7 million this month from Moderna.
We should be grateful that they are prioritizing Canada for vaccine supply in light of the incredible global demand for vaccines.
But that incredible global demand has prompted the World Health Organization to beseech countries like Canada to share its bounty of doses now.
The ongoing vaccine crisis is a scandalous inequity.
The G7 commitment for 1 billion doses will help, but critics say more is needed and sooner to help vulnerable populations still waiting for first doses.
How is it fair that, we are ahead of the game game, and we are protecting our populations much, much earlier compared to low-income countries.
Canada has now firmed up a commitment to share doses, but Ottawa's priority is clearly to get as many Canadians as possible fully vaccinated as soon as possible. And Canadians are showing that that is their priority too.
Perfect.
Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.